Well, Cubs fans, nobody ever promised that the road to championship glory would be easy. And as we start this season, the road just got definitely difficult for the Chicago Cubs. Let's talk about it and then some. Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, your number one spot for all things Chicago Cubs. I'm your host, Mike Jones, here with you again. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to this episode. Make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe so that you never miss any Cubs action right here on the channel. Now, with that being said, also make sure that you guys join in on our Chicago Cubs Facebook group. Again, there is always something being posted in there, people talking, conversation going on. And we want you to be a part of it. So please make sure that all you got to do is go find that Chicago Cubs Central Facebook group on Facebook. It is visible to everybody and ask to be added, and one of the admin will let you in. Now, appreciate each and every last one of you guys that have been tuning in and enjoying these episodes as the season goes underway. I took a little day off hiatus. I took my son to a Chicago Bulls basketball game. I sorely regretted that because the Bulls ended up losing by 30. We ended up staying for the whole rest of the game. Like, we left after the third quarter because we had to drive so far back down south to Springfield, Illinois. So, like I said, we ended up dipping out early. But nonetheless, we got to talk about our Chicago Cubs, who come off of an off day and lay out pretty much another goose egg as far as offense in this game, the first game of the series against the Cleveland Guardians. The Chicago Cubs in this game, like I said, just struggled really to get hits. And again, to score runs when it counted. Miguel Amaya came in this game. Now, what we saw, the tweak that Craig Counsell's already did while he's still trying to fine-tune this lineup. Obviously, against lefties, Nico Horner hit leadoff. Then we went Alex Bregman. Then we went Ian Happ. Then we went Carson Kelly. Then we went Michael Bush. Then we went Dansby Swanson. Then we went Matt Shaw. Then we went PCA. Then we went Miguel Amaya. Miguel Amaya was your DH for this game. In this first game, Nico Horner went 0 for 2. Alex Bregman went 1 for 4. Ian Happ went 0 for 4. Carson Kelly went 2 for 4. Michael Bush went 0 for 4. Dansby Swanson went 0 for 4. Matt Shaw went 0 for 3. Pete Armstrong went 1 for 3. And Miguel Amaya went 1 for 2. Miguel Amaya hitting the double that scored the only Chicago Cubs run in the game. Again, Chicago Cubs got to figure out how to put it together offensively on a consistent basis, guys. I think this is probably one of the big takeaways for me is that the Chicago Cubs have to figure out how to do this on a daily basis where they can put offense together to win baseball games. I feel as if, though, outside of outside of Harvey, of Hunter Harvey, pretty much all the rest of the Chicago Cubs pitchers pitched fairly well. They pitched well enough to win this game. So we'll talk about Cade Horton, who left the game after just inning. He left in the second after throwing a pitch and walking a guy. Then Colin Ray came in after him, and he picked up the rest of the slack. Three and a third inning, allowing 4 hits, 1 earned run in that inning, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Literally found himself in 2 jams and got out of both those jams without giving up any more runs. Hobie Milner came in and helped him out of the last jam that he was in and allowed 2 hits. But then you brought Hunter Harvey into the game. And like I said, and it was not good from there. Hunter Harvey did not look sharp today. Only pitched 2/3 of an inning, but gave up 2 hits, 3 earned runs, and a walk in that game. One, a towering home run shot from DeLauder, who is somebody that is a rookie, is young, but at the same time has home run power. So again, it was just one of those things where you, like I said, you find yourself in a situation that you're tied in a 1-1 game, and then it's a 2-1 game, but that's still very manageable. And you just see the runs not really coming like they should. And you wonder to yourself, okay, how are you going to manufacture some runs here? The Chicago Cubs, without having their power hitter in Seiya Suzuki, are going to have to figure out how to manufacture some runs. Craig Counsell is going to have to get very creative with the guys on how to get some runs generated through. Because again, like I said, guys, the schedule doesn't get any easier. After Cleveland, after Cleveland, you then have to go up against the Tampa Bay Rays. And then after the Rays, you go up against the Pirates. The Pirates are no slumps. Then after that, you got the Phillies. Then you got the Mets. Then you do 4 against the Phillies. Then you got the Dodgers. And then you end the season against the Padres. So the Chicago Cubs have a lot of baseball still left to be played this season. But again, and I see some of your comments below when you look at my videos, especially that last video when after the Angels lost, and I was pretty pissed. And like I don't want to make it seem like the sky is falling, but after you invest so much money, especially into your infield, and you spend so much, and you say, okay, these are our guys moving forward. Well, if these are your guys moving forward, we got to figure something out offensively. We do. We just got to figure something out offensively. I'm okay with these being your guys moving forward, but we got to get some heavy hitters. We got to get some guys that can hit the home run ball, some guys that can come through in the clutch for this team, because that is where we are sorely lacking. Sorely lacking. Again, Nico Horner went 0 for 2. I believe he had a walk in this game. Alex Bregman went 1 for 4. Ian Happ 0 for 4. After starting the season off hot, hitting home runs last week, he has tremendously cooled off. Carson Kelly kind of figuring things out. Michael Busch has started this season off very slow. Him and Dansby Swanson both have started this season off very, very slow. Again, it's just week 2. There's a lot of baseball still left to be played, but just stating for the fact, they both have started this season off very, very slow. And the Chicago Cubs are not a good play from behind team. I will continue to say this till the cows come home or until they prove me wrong. The Chicago Cubs struggle to come from behind in games. The recipe for success for the Chicago Cubs to really have success is, number 1, they got to start off hitting hot. And number 2, they got to have good pitching. They got to have good pitching. You got to be able to hold off guys and put up goose eggs for multiple innings and allow the Chicago Cubs at least an inning or two to get a 1 to 2 run lead. Now, Chicago Cubs did have the lead in this game after the Miguel Amaya single. They had an opportunity for more. There were no outs, and the Chicago Cubs squandered that. Pop flying out into the flying out to third base. And again, like I said, it's just one of those things. It was in foul territory. It was one of those things where you look at it and you say to yourself, man, the Chicago Cubs really squandered the opportunity to put up 3-4 runs in that inning, carve themselves a little lead, and put the pressure on Cleveland to make the comeback. And unfortunately, the Chicago Cubs just did not do that. When you have runners in scoring position on base, you have to cash in, especially with no outs. You cannot afford to give up three outs after that. After you guys have set yourselves up to have a big inning and rally through, you got to finish. Guys have to finish. And again, the bullpen in itself looked like it struggled in today's game, at least coming from Hunter Harvey's standpoint of view. But the big thing and the major part in this that we have to talk about is none other than the injury to Cade Horton. That's right. Cade Horton injured himself pretty bad in this game against the Washington Nationals. I'm sorry, not the Washington Nationals. I don't know why I said Washington Nationals. Against the Cleveland Guardians. So Cade Horton said he felt tightness in his wrist, and then it moved to his forearm. Hopeful that he caught the issue early and avoided something serious. And then Craig Counsell said that Horton will get imaging done by Monday, and the roster move pending, as Horton will be placed on the 15-day IL. So again, Craig Counsell, when he was talking about it, just looked distraught. He looked very upset. Cade Horton also looked very upset at everything that happened. I don't think anybody wanted to see this happen. I don't think anybody wanted to see Cade Horton have to leave this game, especially as good as he looked in the first game, in his first appearance for the Chicago Cubs. Many were questioning why he did not start the season as the Chicago Cubs opening day starter. My heart breaks for Cade Horton in this, y'all. I can't lie to you. My heart breaks for Cade Horton because he won. He wanted to be there. He wants to be the best player. He wants to be a leader on this team, even in year two. But it's just unfortunate that it just could not happen for him right now. So the Chicago Cubs have to move on forward without them. He'll be placed on the 15-day DL IL list, and then we'll see what happens from there. And if he is seriously injured or he needs surgery, prayers to God that he doesn't, then the Chicago Cubs find themselves once again back into another pickle of a situation. Luckily for them, this time they have figured things out a little bit. You still have Justin Steele, who is clear for baseball activities and is going to try to ramp up. So you could eventually see Justin Steele here within the next month or so. But at the same time, you still got Colin Ray. He came in, he pitched 3 good innings for the Chicago Cubs, and he was great for the Chicago Cubs last year. You also have Miguel Amaya. I'm sorry, not Miguel Amaya. You also have Javier Assad that you can choose to call up in place of Cade Horton and bring him into the bullpen. Also, Javier Assad has had some success. He's coming off pitching really well in the World Baseball Classic also. So he's somebody that you can bring up for the Chicago Cubs, and you have the luxury of having someone like that. So Chicago Cubs find themselves 3-4 right now. We need to go out. We need to win a ball game. So Chicago Cubs play prime time, 6:15 p.m. on MLB TV and on Fox Game of the Week. So the Chicago Cubs, Shota Imanaga, will be on the mound, and he'll be going up against Slade Cesaroni, who is 0-1 with a 12.46 ERA. Shota himself as a 7.20 ERA. So these guys are have given up some runs. Both will be trying to make things right. So we'll just have to see what happens. For Shota, he's 0-1 with the 7.20 ERA, a 1.60 WHIP, and he's pitched 5 innings. For the Guardians, you have Slade Ciccone. I don't know if it's Ciccone or Ciccone, but he's a right-hand pitcher, and he will be going for the Guardians. He has already given up. He has an ERA of 12.46. And he's on 1 also. So we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. The Chicago Cubs' key to success is going to be keep the ball in the ballpark. Now, it's supposed to be rainy. It's not supposed to be good weather conditions tomorrow. So we will see what happens with that. We will see what happens during this game today at 6:15. We will see if the Chicago Cubs can come through, if Shota Imanaga can lift this team up. If Shota can get you this win, then they put you in a really, really good situation to win this series on Sunday with Edward Cabrera going for the Chicago Cubs. I would feel really, really good about Edward going for the Cubs on Sunday. So, again, we will see what happens. Shota has to have his best stuff ahead of him, and I think that we will see him do some damage, hopefully, for the Chicago Cubs, not against the Chicago Cubs. He's looking to show that he still is an elite pitcher in this game. And so we will see what he has in store for us on Saturday. But listen, let me know your thoughts on Cade Horton's injury, on the sad stature of the Chicago Cubs offense to start the season, how they have basically been lifeless in multiple games already. And what do you think the Chicago Cubs can do to fix their offense? Because they're going to need it. They're going to have to put up some runs on some of these teams, especially early on. So the Chicago Cubs, without a heavy hitter like Kyle Tucker being pitched to, and without the pitchers, and I would have to worry about Seiya Suzuki, the Chicago Cubs right now have to figure out how to manufacture runs, how to get wins. We'll see what happens, man. But this has been the episode for today. I'll be back with you guys I'll be right with you guys after the game on Saturday. Until next time, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe to Chicago Cubs Central. Go Cubs, go. Peace.
Thank you for watching another episode of Chicago Cubs Central, the #1 spot for all Chicago Cubs content. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more Cubs content.